there's no tension here. Even if these 3 people die, I don't care if they do.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of hope they do.
Yeah.
It doesn't have much new to say. My favorite entry into the series is Mission Impossible Fallout with the Cav, man.
With the Cav, my number 2.
Mm-hmm. It just had the best action there, and it was the most engaging, I feel. This one is bogged down with so much connecting of the backstories of the other movies. Yeah. It gets so much in the way, because I'm like, I get that it's the final one. You want to like connect it and kind of somewhat retcon some things. It just gets in the way of like having a good movie stand on its own, because you have to explain, hey, do you remember this guy who was in this scene for like half a second? He's a main character now.
He got sent to Alaska or wherever.
And then you got to show that whole backstory, and then you have to tell everyone like 3 times, because some people weren't alive when that first movie came out. So it's things like that where I'm like, I wish it could just be its own self-contained thing. The ending for me, too, was a lot like the Fallout ending, like almost to a T, where you got Tom Cruise trying to connect a thing or get the thing at the last second. They got to clip wires at the right time. And I was like, we've done this before. We've done a lot of this before.
A lot of that. There's a lot of clipping of wires.
Mm-hmm. This was done so much better in other movies.
There's 2 villains, I guess. There's the AI and there's Gabriel.
Yeah.
And the AI, I was like, that's kind of fun or whatever, I guess.
It's stupid because it's not a tangible villain. It's the entity is basically God. Dale from Ozark is like the Pope. I don't know. It's just not interesting to see the messenger be the main guy who we don't really care about. And they have way too many conversations where they're like, this is what the entity wants.
I know. We got to do something different.
Okay, if he's all-knowing, all-powerful, then there's really no hope. But for some reason, there's hope.
Some reason.
And also, it's not very fun. Like, the entity's like, oh, we're going to do nuclear warfare. And I'm like, yeah, guess what? That's happening right now in real life. And I don't want to see a movie that's like, reminds me of how bad our real life is. I want to go to escape. Like, we're always on the verge of World War III now. So when you see it in a movie, you're like, oh.
They were going for nostalgia, and they had a ton of flashbacks. They bring back random characters, and if you're going for nostalgia, you could have easily just brought back someone from one of those other movies.
Yeah. See, that's another thing. They have the weakest team in this one. They got that black guy who I'm 99% positive he's from Top Gun Maverick. Pretty sure he won like a push-up contest with Tom Cruise, and he's like, hey, buddy. Slap on the back. You're going to be in my next movie. How about that? Is this the Make-A-Wish guy? Yeah, we'll put him in the next movie. They got such a weak roster here. And I'm like, if you're going to play through nostalgia, get Michelle Monaghan back. She would have been better than the Inuit lady, right? Yeah. Or literally, get Jeremy Renner back.
That would have been funnier if the guy that he stole the codes from, you know, and he ends up on Alaska married to Michelle Monaghan as like a real get back.
You destroyed my life. I knew you would come for me.
You have a girlfriend? I'm a finder.
Yeah.
I'm a taker.
Such a weak team. Oh, Ving Rhames, by the way. He's the only other actor besides Tom Cruise to be in every single one of these movies. And you couldn't wait for him to be at the end. Like, they killed him off in the first 30 minutes. You can really tell Tom Cruise doesn't care about the other people other than Simon Pegg and his girlfriend, because at the end there he's like, you guys stay here next to the bomb, we'll go to you know, basically the safety. The whole time I was thinking, like, you see Haley Atwell, it pissed me off because I was like, how do you know how to do any of this? How does anyone know how to do any of this?
What, like the people that the guy's like, I don't know how to defuse a bomb, and then he's like, actually, if we just clip these 3 wires at the same time, we'll have exactly 10 seconds.
Yeah.
All right, buddy.
That happened like 8 times in this movie where Simon Pegg's like, oh, we have to do this because of blah, 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 blah. I'm like, how? Where does this knowledge come from? And then Haley Atwell's character, I'm like, you picked pockets. You're just a pickpocketer. And now you can fight like Navy SEAL guys and like do all this stuff. It's just, every time she was on screen, I was like, man, I wish Rebecca Ferguson was here instead.
I know.
Because she was way better. That part with the CIA guy where he's like, oh, I'll just barely an inconvenience, you know, where he clips the bombs.
Yeah.
And there's also not enough interaction between everyone to like make you think they care enough about each other. Because remember at the very end, they go to London or wherever, and they all see each other. And they're having this moment where it's like, oh, you. Oh,
yeah,
look,
like, what was the
point
point of that? Like, one person actually interacted and, like, handed him the thing.
And the others were like,
and then the rest are just like, well, we flew across the country here. We're just going to give you a little nod and then leave. Like, why was everyone else there?
I know, it was really unearned because, like, Tom Cruise and the French lady, I'm like, you guys spoke to each other like 5 times. Like, there's no
Yeah.
relationship there. At least none that is shown.
I guess I don't remember. She was just in the last movie, right?
Yeah.
And it seemed like she just kind of got stabbed.
Mm-hmm.
But when she's like saving Simon Pegg and like it looked like they'd like known each other for years and they're like best friends. I'm like, you just met him like a week ago, right?
Yeah. If you would have brought others back, bring Paula Patton back.
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah, I'm sure you could rise them up from the grave. Also, I just realized this. Not enough masks in this one.
Yeah,
That's the most fun part. There was only 2 at the beginning.
More. You could have just like brought back Alec Baldwin from the grave and been like, oh no, it was someone with a mask of him that died in that other movie.
Yeah.
Just bring back anyone. Henry Cavill.
Well, he's pretty concrete dead. He fell off a cliff and then
maybe someone wearing a Henry Cavill mask fell off a cliff. You hear what I'm saying?
I hate to be that guy, but his face actually got burned on the side, and so therefore we know for a fact that it was not a mask, Christopher.
Well, maybe there's technology.
Yeah, right. That's right. He had 2 masks on.
He double protection here. Yeah. He doubled up here.
Yeah.
This one, it didn't really have any iconic
stunts.
Like, scenes or stunts because it's like Ghost Protocol. You have the one where he's jumping out the building and he jumps through the skyscraper, and the other ones you got him like doing the water jump and hanging on the plane. The last movie, he even had the like bike one where he rides the motorcycle and jumps off. This one was like him on a plane. Like it was good, but like to me it didn't hold the candle to the other ones. Like it didn't really have anything that amazing comparatively.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the issues with this series is people go to see these movies for one of 2 reasons: to see Tom Cruise almost kill himself and for like the cool action scenes. And in this one, it's like you try to keep getting bigger and bigger. And I think they've done all they could, really. Unless they go to space and Tom fights Katy Perry while he's up there.
That's what they need. I talked about it earlier, but that necklace, they showed it like 18,000 times. And every time it just bugged me so much. I'm like, it's been 3 minutes. And they're like, oh, we need the
You remember this necklace?
Zoom in on the necklace. Like, yes, you showed it 2 seconds ago. Why do you keep showing it to me? We remember. Also, it would have been funny because the original plan was they wanted Gabriel to get the key and go outside and put it in the little microchip, and then it would have went off. But afterwards, it does the little like Luther talk to Tom Cruise. Oh, hey, buddy, how are you? You know, I was like, it would have been funny if he did it, and then it's just Luther talking to Gabriel. Hey, Tom, how are you? He's like, what are you talking about?
That would have been funny.
You got any other cons, or should I go in my pros?
Yeah, we can go in some pros.
Stellar cast.
Oh, star-studded.
Another con I just thought of that I don't know how I didn't say. It's like 3 hours long.
Oh, yeah.
No need for this, buddy.
Yeah, there's definitely no need. Way too long. Like I told you at the beginning, they just intercut with the Microsoft screensaver where I'm like, this is the entity talking. I'm like, this is not a great start.
Ugh.
All you're showing me is better movies in the other franchise and this Microsoft screensaver. And I was a little bit dozing off. Back to the pros.
I'm sure if you are like a diehard Mission Impossible, you love the flashbacks and I'm sure my parents are jumping up for joy. Like, hey, that was in Mission Impossible 1. I remember that. I saw that in theaters, you know. What would be your order? Could you give a quick... I'll do mine real quick.
Sure.
Best one is the third, in my opinion. Then Fallout. I think it's Rogue Nation where he jumps in the water and does the water thing.
Yes.
Ghost Protocol, Dead Reckoning, and then Final Reckoning, and then the first and second. That's my order here.
Fair enough. Mine's a little bit different. Fallout, and then Mission Impossible 3 with Philip, and then probably Rogue Nation, Ghost Protocol, Dead Reckoning, Mission Impossible 1, Mission Impossible Final Reckoning, then Mission Impossible 2. So this is on the lower end for me. Tell us your rating in the comments. What do you think? Rank them. Tell us what you thought of the movie. Thanks for watching these highlights of our episode of the Stale Popcorn Podcast. If you want to listen to the full episode, check out the links in the description. Please like, share, and subscribe, and if you do that with your favorite YouTuber, I'm sure they would appreciate it too. Thanks, and have a great day.